Welcome to my Magic Budget Spreadsheet tutorial. Entering data into spreadsheets is boring, but what a spreadsheet can do when it's set up right and has formulas is pretty magical. While anyone can benefit from budgeting and keeping track of their income and expenses, I'm gearing this towards college students because most college students are working with very limited income and need an easy and free way to make sure they're keeping within that income. As college students, you're probably familiar with basic spreadsheet terminology, but feel free to slow down or pause and rewind the video as needed. I will also have instructions in the notes for ease of reference. Here's the link and QR code to get to the spreadsheet, which has the tabs and magic formulas all set up and ready to go. My video will show some data in the spreadsheet so you can tell what is what, but you'll have a clean copy. First, we're going to start here with the Debits tab, where you'll record your expenses. I already have columns set up for the important information. Every expense, put your date here in column C, the amount in column D, which account you used in column E, where you spent the money in column F, and then the category of the expense in column G. The account can be Venmo, PayPal, debit, or credit cards, cash, anything you want to track. The location can be the name of a store or the name of a friend you're paying back. And then the category is anything you want to track or budget. Let's say you had a $5 meal today. Put in today's date and the amount that you paid for it with your Venmo account. The location was a fast food place, and the category is eating out. You can also include information in the description if you want, or leave it blank. Where did I get these things for the drop-down boxes? I used data validation to magically reference the Categories tab and the Accounts tab. These are where you add new items if you add a new spending account or go to a new store. Take a minute to think of the budget categories you want to track so you can decide how broad or narrow you want the categories to be. Should all necessities be one category, or do you want to track food separate from toiletries? You could have leisure activities be one broad category, or break it down into movies, books, sports, etc. The Credits tab is very similar to the Debits tab, and this is where you will add any money that comes in, whether it's your paycheck, money from your parents, friends paying you back for something, etc. One last thing to show you about the debit and credit tabs. Do you see these little check boxes in column B on the left? If it's unchecked, that means that you've made the transaction, but it hasn't gone through your bank or credit card yet. It's a pending charge. Going over to the Accounts tab, you'll see that there are actually 4 separate sections, one each for completed debits and credits, and one each for pending debits and credits. To make sure you are correctly tracking all your expenses and income, you will need to check your accounts or count your cash and make sure the total on the account matches what the spreadsheet says you have. If it doesn't match, you'll have to figure out why. Going back to our $5 meal, what if you just bought it? So you entered it into your spreadsheet, but your bank doesn't process the transaction for 2 or 3 days. That can make it hard to balance your accounts. So, over on the dashboard, I have a place for account balances, which should match what your bank says you have. Pending expenses for things like our $5 meal, and similarly pending income. And finally, total available, which shows you what your accounts will be once everything is cleared. This way, if your bank says you have $20, but you know you spent some on a meal, you can see what you really have available for spending. One very important thing about the accounts is if the account is a credit card so that the balance amount shown is how much you owe, you must enter the starting balance of how much you owe as a negative amount in column P. Now for the Budget tab. This is where you're going to set up how much you want to spend on each of your categories month by month. The budget categories in column A actually come from the Categories tab. See how if I put in a new entry in this tab, it will automatically show up in the Budget tab. The budget amounts are all independent in case you need to budget for different expenses some months. For instance, paying for books at the beginning of the semester. You'll type these amounts in manually. Then over to the right, you can see month by month how well you did staying on budget. I also have the dashboard set up to show the current month based on today's date in cell C1. That's it. To quickly review, enter your information in the proper columns in the Debits tab for any expenditures or in the Credits tab for any income you receive. And when a transaction goes through as complete on your bank account or credit card, mark the appropriate checkbox to change it from pending to completed. Add new spending accounts in column A in the Accounts tab, and when you set up any charge accounts with a starting balance, use a negative number. If you need to add to any of your categories, use the Categories tab, which has separate sections for locations, expenses, and income. Set up the budget amounts for your categories in the Budget tab. And finally, a snapshot of the most important information is available on the dashboard. The section on the left will give you a running account of your current balance as well as how much you have available, counting any pending transactions. And the section on the right shows you how well you're staying on budget for the current month.